Yes.
Motivation.
Motivation. Yes.
I guess the remembrance of Allah in any situation.
Okay, beautiful. Remembering Allah in any situation. Yes.
I recently went to Hajj, and over there I thought I didn't know anything about our deen, and I want to focus and I want to learn about our deen and Islam and more knowledge about our religion.
MashaAllah, that's beautiful. I'll repeat what you said. She said recently she went to Hajj, MashaAllah, Hajj Mabrur. And before that, she didn't know a lot about the deen, and now she has this desire to learn more. May Allah give you that. Yes, in the back.
I just want to say thank you. And I have a question. It will be quick, but if you want me to ask you later, the lecture is fine too.
Okay. Well, let me know what the question is, and then if I cover it, then during the talk, inshallah.
It's what is it? Nia.
Yes, intention.
And then I want to say telepathy. So meaning like sometimes can you ask somebody in your Nia to pray for you, and then they pray for you, and you get the message back that they prayed for you, something like that.
Okay.
So I felt that kind of connection with you. So is that Islamic, or that's a more of a Quranic?
Okay. So you're saying you felt that connection with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I can say about that is that it's Allah. Right? It's Allah. So what happens is that obviously we don't know what's inside another person, right? I can't see what's inside another person's heart or another person's mind, but Allah can. And so Allah knows exactly what you need. Allah knows exactly what you need. Allah knows exactly what you need. And He also knows exactly what you need to hear. I don't know, but Allah knows. And I'm the same one who Allah knows me. And so it's Allah who knows, and it's Allah who inspires. So it's through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not us, it's not me. Because I don't know anything of the unseen. I'm a human being, same as others. So it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Like I asked you in my house to pray for me, and then what you prayed for me, it was I got the message, it was conveyed to me that you prayed for me, and it was very powerful prayer, and I just wanted to say thank you. That's
Well, may Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. So anyone else want to share? Okay, yes.
Clarity.
Clarity. Thank you for saying that. Inshallah, we'll talk about that. Yes.
Finding peace through difficulties and disappointments, I guess.
Finding peace through difficulties and disappointments. Okay, wonderful. Now I want to start. So this is really good, alhamdulillah, because this is exactly what we want to talk about today. When we talk about peace and chaos, first I want to define chaos. Why is there chaos? And what is it that we're suffering from right now? What is it that we're suffering from as human beings in the earthly experience, in the worldly experience that we're in? What is it about the nature of this life that we are all being tested with? Well, there's a few things. Number one is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unseen. The prophets are unseen. The angels are unseen. Hellfire is unseen. Jannah is unseen. All of these things we can't see. And therein lies the test. Many of us, what happens is that we go through this world and we get so caught up in that which we can see, in that which we can feel and touch, the material things, and we forget about that which we cannot see. And this is exactly why this life is a test, isn't it? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can't see Him. We can't see Jannah and Jahannam. We don't know, we can't see the grave, but these are realities. And so what ends up happening is that in this chaos of dunya, we get caught up. We get caught up in media, in our jobs, in money, in social media, which is so much about how you appear in front of other people. What do other people think about you? How do you look? We're living right now in a time, it's unprecedented time of complete obsession with appearances. Like obsession, right? It's become so important what you look like, what you wear, how you present yourself. Why? Because this is the culture we're in right now, the Instagram culture. And it's all about putting yourself out there and looking a certain way and having a specific type of image. And so all of these things create a chaos. They create, as one of the brothers mentioned, it's distracting, right? You lose focus of what matters. And the reason for that is, this is what we can see, right? This is what's close to us. This is what we can experience, firsthand. But Jannah, Jahannam, that just seems far away, right? Even Allah feels far away to many of us. Am I right? Even if we pray, sometimes we feel like, but I don't feel Allah, right? I'm praying, maybe I'm going through the motions, but I don't feel connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so what happens is, I don't feel connected to Allah, I don't feel connected to heaven or hell, but I feel connected to my phone, I feel connected to my friends on Instagram, Facebook. That I feel connected to because it's in front of me, right? It's not unseen, right? It's not ghaib. It's not ghaib. It's something immediate. It's something I can feel and touch. It's the material. And so this is our biggest test. Our test is that we choose the material over the spiritual, right? We choose the immediate gratification over the delayed gratification, right? Because Jannah is not right now. Heaven is not right now. Meeting Allah is not right now. And so we instead focus on, well, I'm going to meet my friend, right? Or I'm going to meet, someone that I love. And we forget, and we kind of put aside what is coming. Now, how can we avoid that? So this is one of the pitfalls of the chaos of dunya, of the materialism, of the fact that there's so much to get distracted by. And to be honest, there's only one answer. There's only one way to not fall into that trap. There's only one way, and that is something called dhikr.
But what's interesting about the answer that I gave her is that it was a lesson that I would actually spend my life having to learn. And I didn't understand this at the time that I was 17, but it was a very interesting answer that I gave her. She asked me, why do people have to leave each other? And in the dream I said to her, because this life isn't perfect. If it was, what would Jannah be called? What would the next life be called? And so this answer really was deeper than I realized at the time, but what it meant was, when we put our full dependence on this life, when we put our full dependence on the creation, as we should only depend on Allah, it's like a person who's climbing a cliff and holds onto a twig. What happens? That twig is going to snap and that person is going to fall. Now, is it the twig's fault that you held onto it with your full weight and it broke? And the answer is no. It's our fault because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a handhold that never breaks. For us to put our ultimate dependence, our ultimate love, our ultimate hope, and our ultimate reliance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that whoever disbelieves, وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ لَهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah that whoever disbelieves in Taghut and believes in Allah has held on to the trustworthy handhold that never breaks. And so this realization was that that's the only handhold that we can possibly expect to never break. We cannot expect this from the people around us because they are not God. We cannot put unrealistic expectations of dunya and everyone in dunya because they are not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we have to learn that there is a place for Allah in our hearts and there is a place for people in our hearts. And we can't switch that. We can't exchange that. And if we exchange it, then that will cause a lot of pain in our lives. So I went through this journey, and this was just really the beginning of trying to, as a highly sensitive person and a perfectionist, to try to learn to have the proper balance of how to love people, give and take from people, have relationships, work, and not allow these things to overtake the core of man. To learn to love in the right way, to learn to have and interact with this life as it should be, where this life is something that we live in, we enjoy in a halal way, but we realize that it is only temporary. And that it is only a bridge to our real life. It is only a bridge to the perfect life. And until we realize that, we continue to get hurt by this life. There's the second half of this chapter, the second chapter, is entitled, People Leave, But Do They Return? And this chapter is about what happens when we lose things in life. Are they lost forever, or do they return in a different way, maybe a better way? And I go and I reflect on the stories that were told in the Quran, the stories of the loss that prophets, peace be upon them, went through. And I reflect on whether or not this loss was permanent, or whether these things were returned. I take, for example, the mother of Musa alayhi salam, and how the mother of Musa alayhi salam had to let go of her son. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told her to put Musa alayhi salam as a baby, can you imagine having to do this? To put your own child in the river. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the mother of Musa to have enough reliance on him, to have enough tawakkul, to be able to let go of her baby, and to believe in the core of her heart that Allah would return her child. And that required true reliance. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a promise to the mother of Musa alayhi salam. And that promise was, Inna radduhu ilayk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised. And it's not like the promises that a human being gives, because a human being can break their promise. This is the promise of Allah. And He promised the mother of Musa that if you put your trust in Him, He will return what you lost. He will return it to you. And so she was tested in her reliance, but she put her trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah promised her that He would return Musa to her, alayhi salam. Now this is very interesting because he was living at a time where Pharaoh was killing babies as a policy. And so you think about when you're scared for something that you love, maybe you're scared of losing something that you love. Maybe you're scared of losing your money, or you're scared of losing your status, or you're scared of losing your power, or you're scared of losing someone that you love. Usually what do? Do we hold on tighter, or do we let go?